Well, I can say one thing about this movie. It made me really want to listen to some Elvis music afterwards. Wild at Heart is the fifth film from director David Lynch and stars Nick Cage and Laura Dern, and is the story of Sailor and his girlfriend Lula. Sailor has just recently gotten out of prison for killing a man that was hired by Lula's mother to kill him. And now he has broken his parole, and him and Lula now go on a cross-country journey to California. Meanwhile, Lula's overprotective mother sends a hitman out to kill Sailor. This is very different from any of the David Lynch movies I've seen so far. David Lynch has cranked up everything to 10, and he's made his most violent and most over the top and just weird, strange film yet. It's not strange in the way that Eraserhead was strange, it's more just unhinged. It's got this quality to it that just feels like you've unleashed the beast, and that's how it is through the entire film. And it's perfect for an actor like Nick Cage, because Nick Cage gets to be just himself in this movie. He's insane. There's just moments of him just being wild, crazy. Perhaps you've seen many Nick Cage films where he's just been absolutely crazy. Just imagine those films, but up to a 10. He's just insane playing Sailor in this film, and it's just such a joy to watch. He's so charismatic and so fun in the role that you can't help but love him, even when he does just horrible, horrible things. Such as the opening scene of the movie, Sailor kills the man that Lula's mother sent to kill him. And that's how he ends up in prison. And it's just done in such a violent and crazy way. You just see so much blood and so much gore. It's just so over the top, but it's so unsettling, but yet it's so, I hate saying gratifying, it's so weird to see. And just Nick Cage is so good at just being crazy that this was the role he was meant to play. And I love that David Lynch got to work with him, because I think that's really cool. Another person that's really good in the film, though, is Laura Dern, who plays this very naive young girl who goes off with Sailor, and she's just so good in this film. She's got a very dark past with her mother, and she's just trying to grow up, and there's actually a lot of symbolism and references to Wizard of Oz. They always talk about following the yellow brick road, or the good witch, the bad witch. There's all these different references to the Wizard of Oz, and I think it works in this film because David Lynch has spoken before about this movie, about how he liked the idea of this drifter just kind of trying to follow the yellow brick road to get out of his situation. And I think that works here, because if you think back to Wizard of Oz, Dorothy was trying to get out of her situations that she was in, and she followed the yellow brick road. So I think that's a really great kind of metaphor that David Lynch has done. Some might not think it works, but I think it works. Also in the film, the mother character is just absolutely amazing. I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but she just gives such a crazy performance in a film filled with weird performances, because everybody's just so unleashed in this film. David Lynch has just... It's almost as if David Lynch just had the camera rolling and that was it. Like, he didn't give any direction at all, but yet it all works. It has a function to it. It's not like he put the camera on them and just said, have at it. They all are consistent in their roles, and I think that's what works about the film. These characters and these actors work so well together, just giving such insane performances that you begin to realize that this movie is not taking place in our own reality. It's almost a hyper-realized version of our reality where just madness ensues, and it's just really fun. It's a really fun road trip movie that's very violent and sometimes very dark, but it's really a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun watching it too. However, it does get rather slow in the middle. There's probably some stuff that could be cut. The movie's about 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think it could have been cut at least by 15 minutes. Also in the film, another actor I just remembered, Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe plays just the most insane, crazy, scary person I've seen ever. I mean, it's kind of like Frank Booth from Blue Velvet, but he's just so cranked up to 10, and it's just Willem Dafoe, who's already kind of a scary guy to begin with, but he's just terrifying in this film and just a great, great villain. And I don't know, he's just really disgusting and disturbing, and he gives such a over-the-top performance, just like Nick Cage and everybody else, and it just works so well together. Now, sometimes over-the-top performances and stuff can't work all the time, but I think it really works here because I think that's the point of the movie. Everything's supposed to be very over-the-top and just out of this world almost, and it works very well for the story that David Lynch is trying to tell. I also love the soundtrack to this film. As I stated in my intro, this movie made me really want to listen to Elvis because Elvis is a big theme in the film. There's a lot of music from Elvis. Nick Cage's character Sailor in the film, he actually kind of talks like Elvis in a way. He has this type of voice that Elvis did. In fact, you get to hear Nick Cage sing in the movie. At least I think it's him, and he sings really well too. So that was actually a real nice treat that I wasn't expecting. And also, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but I will say that the ending of the film is very bizarre for a David Lynch film. It's very Hollywood, and I know David Lynch isn't too keen on Hollywood, and it has this just really sweet Hollywood ending that you don't get in any of his other films. The closest one you get to is Blue Velvet, but that's still not exactly Hollywood, I would say. I don't know, guys. I'm rambling on with this movie, but I just really, really enjoyed it. Aside from it being rather slow in the middle, it does drag a bit, and that's the biggest problem with it, as well as maybe it's not as consistent as it should be because the story is very thin and they do stretch it out a lot and it feels like some scenes are filler, but overall it's a fun ride and it's just madness. And I think that's why I liked it. It was just something unhinged about it that I just really liked and really got into. Anyway, guys, with all that said, I'm going to give Wild at Heart a 7 out of 10. This isn't one of David Lynch's best films, but it's a really fun film and solid too. Aside from the problems I stated, I say you should go check it out because it's really a lot of fun and you might enjoy it. Just remember that the film does get a little slow towards the middle, but other than that, it should be fun. Anyway, guys, with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.